The following program is a Sutv student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Coming up on tonight's broadcast, as SGA begins another Stop Hating Week, we sat down with two board members to highlight some of the week's events.
The CVS pharmacy announces to end selling tobacco products by the fall. We'll see the opinions from local pharmacies and the influence on their businesses.
And as the winter ice storm passed through Salisbury, meteorologists Travis Bush and Emily Lewis will show us if we can expect school closings again next week. This is SUTV Evening News.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Thursday, March 6th. I'm Brooke Reese.
And I'm Taylor Rogers.
Monday starts the 6th annual Stop Hating Week, hosted by the SGA. We sat down with President Catherine Mooney and Vice President of Diversity, Mario Orella, to see what's going on for this week.
So basically, Stop Hating is a time for everyone to kind of come together, unite as seagulls, and kind of understand that unity and acceptance are important, and they're important on campus, and we want students to understand that at the end of the day we're all seagulls, and it's in this day and age, I feel like our society, there's a lot of stereotypes, there's a lot of prejudice, and I feel like especially as college students we fall into that trap a lot, and we want to help students understand why that's not the right way to go about it. And we're all Salisbury students, we're all in this together, and so to support each other and to just kind of give just someone that you may not even know, you still want to give them that pat on the back if they need support or something like that. Just knowing that people aren't going to judge you based on what you look like or what you wear or anything like that. Those aren't the important things. It's about who you are. So
we also have a board breaking on Friday, which is an event where we all come together as one, as all seagulls, and like we break that barrier, that the stereotypes, the discrimination, we get rid of all of that.
The board is like a piece of drywall that we have outside of student activities every single day, and people have the chance to write things like stereotypes that they face, prejudice that they face, and then on Friday we break the hate, and it's basically showing that we can break, like Maria said, break those barriers and make sure that people understand that those stereotypes don't need to define them, and they don't need to be who they are.
Or it will be a great week, full events, and all of them should be educational, fun, and entertainment for sure. Yeah. So come out and support Stop Hating Week. We just want to show that Salisbury University has a great potential for diversity growth.
And tomorrow, check out the board-breaking ceremony in Red Square. The SGA will be outside from 11 to 3 p.m., and the multicultural fair will also be in the Wicomico room.
The board breaking will surely be like a symbolic meaning for the entire week.
Yeah, it'll be great to see the students coming together to end discrimination.
Absolutely. And another great thing coming to an end close to our campus is the distribution of tobacco products from CVS pharmacy stores.
Tonight, Jesse Staley tells us how this could be a great health benefit and economic choice for local businesses.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports the number of adult daily smokers dropped 1.6% from 2005 to 2010. So, a recent corporate announcement that CVS will stop carrying tobacco products in their stores nationally by this fall may be a good business and healthcare move. Local pharmacist Jeff Faraci applauds CVS's decision.
We sell all these products for people to stop smoking, and yet there's certain large chains that still sell tobacco products for the profit. So I hope it does set a trend.
Faraci's community pharmacy on Route 13 in Salisbury has never carried tobacco products. The Citizens Health Initiative, a healthcare advocacy group, reports cigarette sales in Maryland have been decreasing for the past decade, including a 17% drop since 2008. Pharmacist Jeff Scher of Apple Discount Drugs thinks all pharmacies should focus on a person's well-being.
I mean, we're looking at more of the healthcare. We want to be an integral part of the healthcare team.
Smoker Kobe Royston says he doesn't think CVS's decision will hamper smokers' access to tobacco.
In the long run, it won't really matter because cigarettes are still very accessible to like gas stations, and there's outlets literally an hour away. So
CVS reports it may lose $2 billion by taking tobacco off its shelves. Last year, CVS revenues topped $32 billion in Salisbury. I'm Jesse Staley reporting.
And on CVS's website, they state, the sale of tobacco products is inconsistent with our purpose, which is helping people on their path to better health. They concluded their message by saying, this is the right thing to do.
And from health to political matters, I recently sat down with Democratic congressional candidate Dr. John LaFurla to discuss what he hopes to do if elected to Congress. What do you think that you can bring to the young voters of the campus? What do you offer for, like, for example, financial aid or student loans or different things that are going to be of issue to students?
Sure. Well, there are obviously many issues that students face, and you just brought up some of the key ones there with the student loans. And that's really because of the tremendous increase in the tuition expense that's happened over the last, 10 or 20 years. It's really gotten a little too high, I think. But still, a college education is a tremendous investment and probably the best thing you can do in your life for your long-term career. However, we don't want people to finish school and then be burdened for the rest of their lives with student loans. So there has to be ways, and in fact, Brooke, there are some really good ideas out there that I would like to work on when I'm in Congress, such as limiting the amount that any student would have to pay per month based on what their income is after they get out of school. Some people are able to get a good job and pay their loans off right away. Others aren't, and you don't want the interest to build up to the point where it gets to be unmanageable. Also, if you've been paying your student loan on a regular basis for a certain length of time, let's say 20 years, we should just say you're done. And if there's an amount left over, that just gets wiped away. Because we don't want people going into retirement homes still owing student loans. So there's lots of work that can be done, and I'd like to get to Congress to work on that for you.
And the congressional primary election will be held on June 24th, so make sure you make your vote count.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Sarah Thompson will have another edition of Campus Connection, and we'll look into this week's weather.
Stay right there. You're watching SUTV Evening News. Now we look at what's going on around other Maryland campuses.
Here's Sarah Thompson with this week's Campus Connection.
Tonight on Campus Connection, we will be focusing on a cyber attack at University of Maryland and a drug scandal at University of Maryland Eastern Shore. We start off tonight with a massive cyber attack at the University of Maryland. The personal information of over 309,000 students, staff, and alumni was taken in what the university is calling a sophisticated cyber attack. The breach database contained the names, social security numbers, dates of birth, and university identification numbers of each person involved. President Wallace Lowe said no financial, academic, health, or contact information was taken by the cyber attack, but the university would provide a free year of credit monitoring to anyone whose information was exposed. The University of Maryland Eastern Shore it was without a campus queen after the dethroning of Portia Simone Harvey, who was charged with disruptive behavior in an exchange with a police officer, and another incident was cited for possessing marijuana in a Somerset courthouse. Harvey resigned as Miss University of Maryland Eastern Shore on Wednesday, telling university officials that recent events devalued her role as a student leader. Her attorney will not comment about the charges and said Harvey was not discussing the case with the media. That's it for this week's Campus Connection. I'm Sarah Thompson. Now back to you, Brooke and Taylor.
Thanks, Sarah, for that. Berlin, Maryland received some notoriety last week. Budget Travel's recent nationwide contest locating the coolest small town has one of our local areas being recognized for its cool status.
And Alan Van Womer brings us that story from Berlin tonight.
Big things are happening in the small town of Berlin, or should we say, the coolest small town? Right now, the nearby town is leading in the national polls for Budget Travel's Coolest Small Town in America contest. Berlin Town Administrator Laura Allen says in this contest, voting early and voting often is fine.
The contest runs until February 25th, and you can vote once every 24 hours, but it has to be from a unique IP address. They control it by the IP address.
This isn't the first time Berlin has tried to cash in on its coolness. They tried a few years ago, but came in 5th.
This time, we got a little more organized, and we moved out the gate right away and made sure that we got the word out so everybody was voting. It made a huge difference.
So what makes Berlin so cool? Some say the historic buildings, but residents say it's a combination of atmosphere and the people.
We all support each other. We have great visitors that come in town, and we always try to get them to go into other stores, establishments, galleries around town here.
You know, it's like heaven going to work because it's really fun. I mean, it's kind of laid back, and you know, I like the people. I like all of our regular customers that come in.
Administrator Allen says the Berlin win can be a tourism windfall for all of Delmarva.
Just the sheer exposure in Budget Travel magazine is going to draw people's attention to the area.
Berlin's also getting big name support. Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley recently retweeted news of the competition. In Berlin, I'm Alan Van Wormer reporting.
And this past Tuesday, the results of the contest were revealed that 39,000 votes of 138,000 were cast in favor of Berlin. That's only 28% needed to be claimed the coolest small town in the nation.
And to see how your favorite sports teams ranked this weekend, sports correspondent Amanda Newman is here with your sports update. Amanda?
The baseball team played 3 games against New Paltz State this weekend. They lost their first game 9-5 and won their other 2 7-1 and 8-2. They will be hosting CAC rival Wesley College tomorrow at 2:30. Due to the weather we received last Monday, softball games over the past weekend were postponed. They will be playing in the Seagull Classic this upcoming weekend. Tomorrow they will be playing Rutgers of New Jersey at 9 and 11 a.m. and Saturday they will be playing Wykes at 9 and 11. Congratulations to sophomore Kim Dorsey for winning CAC Player of the Week and Rachel Johnson for winning CAC Pitcher of the Week. The #1 women's lacrosse team improved their record to 3-0 after a 17-9 victory over Catholic University. The 3 Seagulls posted hat tricks in the game. Senior goalie Ashton Wheatley had 10 saves in the game. With that victory, the women's lacrosse team has 399 victories since 1973. The Seagulls will be hosting number 19 Washington and Lee at Seagull Stadium this Saturday at 1 p.m. The number 4 men's lacrosse team beat Gettysburg 11-9. Attackmen Mike Kane and Luke Phipps both had 2 goals in the game. Senior goalkeeper Alex Taylor played the entire game and had 11 saves, making that his 5th victory of the season. Sunday, the men's lacrosse team will travel to Landon School in Bethesda, Maryland to play Ohio Wesleyan University. Now back to Taylor and Brooke.
Thanks, Amanda. Well, it looks like the ice storm made its way to campus despite the warm weather we had on Sunday.
After this break, Travis Bush and Emily Lewis will be explaining the never-ending cold temperatures and has your 7-day forecast for this week. Stay tuned. This is SUTV Evening News. SUTV Evening News. Now with a glimpse into this week's campus paper, Jamie Potter tells us everything going on in this week's flyer.
This is Jamie Potter with another edition of This Week in the Flyer. On the front page, Sarah Wood writes about students' chance to make a difference in her article titled SU Tackles Current Issues with Senator Mathias. According to Wood, a 15-question survey is being conducted by Professor Robert Barber's math class on a variety of political topics, including fracking, legalization of marijuana, and more. Wood writes how the topics are targeted for young and new voters. The survey hopes to get students more involved in countrywide issues and hopes its results will be taken into consideration during the legislative process. Scared because of the UMD hacking? Salisbury University has your back. In Shannon Wiley's article titled UMD Security Hack Prompts Extra Precautions for SU, Wiley writes how the IT department has been reviewing the university's security practices to keep students' personal information safe. To learn more about these improvements, flip to page 2 of this week's flyer. In the editorial section, Stephen Seneme gives more insight to what we've all been wondering. What is going on with the weather? In his article titled The Weirdest Winter Ever, he gives examples of abnormal weather patterns and storms in different parts of the country and the world. Seneme links the extreme weather to jet stream. To read more about the possibility of a climate crisis, turn to the editorial section. In the Goal Life section, Amanda Biederman writes about 6 SU artists depicting human figures in different ways in her article titled Art Show Celebrates the Human Body. Jessica Goodwell writes about different views on the new 24-hour gym in her article titled Students Debate Planet Fitness. That's all for this week's edition. Back to Brooke and Taylor.
Thanks, Jamie. On Monday, the trial of Olympic double-leg amputee runner Oscar Pistorius began. Pistorius is the primary suspect in the February 2013 murder of girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. The South African athlete was indicted under charges of illegal possession of ammunition and murder. He could be sentenced to at least 25 years in prison if found guilty.
A local ambulance company may have to resort to some job cuts within the upcoming months. The medical transportation company Heart to Heart ends their contract with Peninsula Regional Medical Center by the end of June. PRMC has decided to switch companies because of some of the critical care patients requiring a higher level of skill than Heart to Heart can provide. And PRMC officials said this was not a cost-cutting measure, and Heart to Heart has confirmed job cuts could be a possibility due to the change. And as promised, now here's meteorologists Travis and Emily with your local weather.
Thanks, guys. Today you have me, Emily Lewis, and my partner, Travis Bush, and we'll be giving you a weekend outlook. Today we saw temperatures reach the 40s. It was really windy and very cloudy, which prevented temperatures from being as high as they really should be at this time of the year. Now, tonight we can expect to see some precipitation move in. This is coming up from the Gulf Coast area and should reach our area tomorrow morning around 9 or 10 a.m. in the late morning. We're not really sure exactly how much precipitation yet that we're going to get. It really depends on where this storm tracks. So if it goes off towards the ocean more or if it stays inland more, it really depends on how much rain we're going to get.
So taking a look at the cloud cover across the country, if you look down to the south here in the Gulf Coast, you can just see the moisture being fed into the system that could affect our area tonight, tomorrow, and into tomorrow night. Looking out west, I want you to take a look at the circulation we see right up here in the clouds. The counterclockwise circulation represents the low pressure system and the corresponding cloud trail that will usher in a cold front to our area late Saturday, early Sunday morning. However, there won't be much precipitation with that front. So now taking a look at the reason why we didn't get snow this week.
Okay, so most of you, if you're students here on campus, you know that we had 2 snow days on Monday and Tuesday, which is a really rare occasion for Salisbury. Originally, this storm, I talked about it last Thursday, was supposed to track a lot farther north, and areas in Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey were supposed to get a lot more precipitation than us. However, a lot of this cold, dry air, a lot more of it than we thought, pushed down from Canada. The dry air is a lot more dense and a lot more heavy, so it really prevented this warm air with all of its moisture from reaching up as high north as it could go. This caused the storm to track further south. It was a lot weaker than we originally anticipated as well, which is why we didn't see as many snowfall totals as we could have.
So for your next 36 hours, like Emily said earlier, there will be precipitation entering our area tonight as lows will be around the freezing mark. So there could be some sleet, some snow mixing in. However, it won't result in any canceled classes for your Friday. Tomorrow afternoon, you can see temperatures reach about the mid-40s with possibly a few peaks of sun. However, depending on the track of the storm will determine how much rain we do get. Tomorrow night, the showers will be leaving our area as temperatures drop into the low to mid-30s. Now for your weekend outlook.
So this is tomorrow around 4 p.m. You can definitely see that all the precipitation from the Gulf Coast will be in our area by then. That's really important to notice. And then if you check around 4 a.m. the next day, you can see the cold front that moves through. You can still see that the precipitation is almost clear of our area, so it should be leaving tomorrow night. So if you have any weekend plans, they might be a little bit rainy. This cold front is a dry cold front, so we shouldn't be seeing any more precipitation except for tomorrow night. Instead, we'll see a temperature drop of around to 45 degrees, which is 10 degrees colder than it usually would be, instead of seeing precipitation.
So taking a look at your next 7 days, once the rain moves out of our area tomorrow night, you can see the Saturday temperatures will reach the mid-50s. However, it depends. We could hit 60 depending on how much the southerly flow brings in the warm air. Sunday, you can see, is about 10 degrees colder, 50 degrees. Still no rain with the cold front that passes through. However, after that cold front, we do warm back up to the upper 50s for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we do see another couple chance of rain move in. However, and depending on the temperatures, we could see some snowflakes. However, I think the springtime temperatures will be here to stay within the next few days, which brings us to our next point.
So as you all know, or maybe you don't know, this weekend we're going to be springing forward. It's time to start daylight savings time again. So we're going to set our clocks forward 1 hour ahead. The Saturday.
Sunday morning.
Oh, Sunday morning, yeah. Sunday morning at 2 a.m., the clock is going to go from 1:59 to 3 a.m. Most of your cell phones and alarm clocks nowadays do that automatically, but it's important to realize that with this, we have longer daylight hours, and hopefully the springtime temperatures will come with the longer sun that we get.
And while she just told you that you will be losing an hour of sleep this weekend, just remember, within 2 weeks, it's the first day of spring, so these cold winter temperatures we've been seeing should be on their way out.
Very nice, Travis. Well, that's all for your weekend outlook and weather. Let's get back to you, Brooke and Taylor. Thanks.
Gosh, Taylor, I can't believe that we're going to have a cold spring break this year.
I know, besides the closings, the weather's been a complete inconvenience this semester.
Yeah. And with these severe changes in the weather, it's hard to predict the photography of Mother Nature's unpredictable beauty.
Tonight, Nick Tribino brings us a story of one local photographer's aspiration to capture the artistic impersonation of a wave.
Here in Ocean City, the white sandy beaches bring out the beachcombers. But here, it's the Atlantic waves that attract the surfers and bodyboarders. And where there are people riding the waves, you'll find photographer Nick Tribino capturing the action.
When I'm shooting surfing, I try to get the wave in the most powerful, spot or whatever, and I like to kind of make a wave a part of a landscape.
Tribino says getting a great shot isn't all talent. You need a lot of patience and a little luck to capture that perfect photo.
I mean, I've had days where I've shot like 200 and then they got 10 or 20 keepers.
And you can see some of Tribino's keepers in some of the best Eastern surf magazines. Professional bodyboarder Matt Landon says Tribino has a unique eye.
He's gotten a couple of me. They're different from what's done in the area. He's got a good variety for sure. He's got a good style.
Hurricane season brings big waves and brave surfers to OC. Tribino says he found himself on the beach with his camera during Hurricane Sandy.
I made it past the barricades and everything because they had the town shut down, and met up with a couple of friends, and a couple of them went out.
In Ocean City, I'm Brandon Rosa reporting.
Gosh, all those pictures of the beach really just make me want to go.
It just makes me want to surf in general as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight, and make sure to tune in on Monday at 7 for a recap of the Stop Hating events from this week.
And stay tuned here for SUTV on another episode of Sports Night coming up at 7:30. From all of us here at SUTV News, good night.